Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next lesson for understanding how our classes work related to our Unity life cycle. So, we are going to test a couple of uh, examples. So, let's start by creating our folder, which is going to be for our lesson 8. And again, we are going to have all three of our folders, which is for the examples, project, and finally the task. And we'll start with our examples. So we'll need to create our first scene, which is the lesson 8 examples. And naming is a little bit wrong. So let's see what we need to do first. So we are just going to have three scripts. So how mono behavior or all the scripts work. So our first script is going to be a simple lifecycle demo script. Next, we are going to have a simple class which shows how default classes work. So we'll call it weapon logic. And finally, testing script for the weapon logic, which is going to be our player weapon. So let's start by scripting those first. So let's open our lifecycle demo script and let's go inside Visual Studio. And let's put it the namespace lesson 8 examples. Is the naming convention correct? So let's delete all this and let's see what do we need to do our life cycle. So first we have our awake method and we'll just use debug.log awake called and let's rename it to 1 awake, and then we are going to have the start in, then start called, and finally on enable, which is the on enable debug.log. I don't know what order it is going to fall, so let's put it at 3. And inside our update, we are going to have update called, and for testing purposes, let's attach the on disable also. And that's it for the lifecycle demo. And let's see how those method works for our scene. So let's create an empty, and I'll just call it the demo. And I'm going to attach our lifecycle demo here, and let's hit play. And let's pause. Okay. So first the awake was called, then our on enable was called, and then the start, and the update was called afterwards. Now let's hit play, and I'm going to close it. So as you can see, when we disabled our game object, on disable was called, and and you'll be able to see after we enabled it, on enable was called. So that was an issue with the ordering for the unenable. So this is the 3 and this is the 2. And also similarly, we are going to have a destroy, and it is going to call when the game object is going to be destroyed. So to check it, we are going to need to destroy the game object here. So again, it is going to clutter. So let's hit destroy. And as you can see, before destroying, it disabled our game object. And after that, the destroy was called. So that's it for the lifecycle demo. Next, we are going to create our weapon logic, which is a pure C# class, and then we are going to test with the help of the player weapon. So let's open up our player weapon and put it in the correct namespace. And our player weapon is going to be a pure C# class. So what does that mean? That it is not going to inherit from the mono behavior. So we can reference it later, and to reference it, we are going to need a serializable attribute. And in our player weapon, we are just going to have damage, then public floor reload time. And after that, we are going to have a public void to upgrade damage. And instead of amount, we'll just directly upgrade the damage by 5, 5, 5. And by default, the damage is going to be 10, and the reload time, let's set it at 12. And we'll do a debug.log, weapon damage upgraded. And to test this, we are going to reference it here inside our weapon logic. So let's put the namespace, and inside our weapon logic, we are going to create a serialized field and private weapon logic, and I'll just call it weapon logic. And inside the start, we'll set the weapon logic to be a new weapon logic, as it is a Unity creates this instance automatically because it's serialized. Okay, I mean, if weapon logic is equals to null, then we'll create a new weapon logic. Or maybe by default, so it does not get empty. And inside our start, we are just going to debug.log damage player weapon. Okay, so there was an issue here. I miss the scripts, so let's put them here. Let's put them here. It is going to inherit from the mono behavior, and the weapon logic is going to be system.serializable. So I didn't check where scripts are there, and we are not going to upgrade the weapon logic here. It will start when we hit space. So if input.get key down instead of new, let's just have the space. We are going to upgrade the damage. Let's test it inside Unity. So we are directly going to put it here. Our weapon logic, our damage is 10, and the reload time is 2. And let's hit play. And when we hit space, demo, let's remove the life cycle and the player weapon here, and we'll disable this demo. Now let's hit play, and it is going to show the initial damage, and we upgrade the weapon damage. It is going to increase by 5. So as you can see, and we can also set different values here. So as you saw, instead of default mono behavior class, it was its own serializable class. So we can have different damage, and we can hit play and increase the damage. So that was it for the examples.